Hey everybody, thank you for being here. My name is Ross Dauk and I am the host of Jokes Please, which has been a live stand-up comedy show for the past 7 years. And now we exist on the internet. This is our second YouTube show and I can't be more excited to be doing it. Is that true? I can't be more excited? That does not make any sense. I just am excited to do it. We have a great show for you tonight. We have Ivan Decker, who has won a Juno, has a Netflix special, and has been on Conan. He also used to run Jokes Please with me. We also have the lost sets from Chris and Sophia from last week. And also, I interviewed some difficult dogs. Should we start with that? Let's watch it right now. Okay, you two, do you guys have any advice to the people out there who are struggling a little bit in their isolation? You can't tell them to kill themselves on this show. Who are these dogs? Who let these dogs out here? Yeah, those are someone's dogs. They are probably the sweetest. So you tell me, do you want those dogs back on the show? Let me know in the comments below. I don't know. So absolutely, right now is the time to socially distance and isolate and don't visit friends and keep your distance and all that. But you do have to go outside. Just don't go near other people. Find nature though, absolutely. Just not popular nature. Don't go to the Deep Cove hike where everybody is. They have closed those things. Go to dirty, old nature. Go into some woods, crack some branches, get yourself a fake sword, and sword fight with the trees. That's what you gotta do. What, are you frustrated with your roommate, your landlord, your lack of your boyfriend or girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your stupid kids, your smart kids, your neighbor's kids? Frustrated about that? You go out into some bush, like I did since I was age 6 to 15. You make yourself a fake sword and you sword fight all of those bushes. Oh yeah! And you challenge mushrooms to duels and you crack off old branches, you leave the healthy ones alone, and you're like, hey, boss of mine, I challenge you to a sword duo, and then you chop off his branch head. That's what you do, but of course, what a wrinkle. What if you see another person in your dirty old bush? This is tough. Social distancing, 2 meters. Here's what you do, you find a meter-long stick. You indicate to that person far away that they find a meter-long stick. Oh yeah, and now it's on. Only I guess you both lose if you... Okay, how about this? You get very long sticks. Now it's like a spear fight. I'm less experienced at spear fights. Still know a little bit. This has been a little bit weird. Oh, also, maybe you're younger than this. Maybe it's not swords for you. Maybe you find some wood that looks like a wand that would have been in Harry Potter, and then you just magic your problems away. You're like, Expelliarmus, anxiety about the virus. What I like about having no one here is that I would have never said that. I like that a lot of people are getting bored enough where they are cutting their own hair. This is important to me because I have been cutting my own hair for, oh my goodness, is it 12? It could be like 12 or 15 years. No one has cut my hair but me. 2 things happened. One is I saw the movie The Fugitive. And what happens is a person gets framed for murder and he goes on the run. And one of the things that he does is he changes how he looks by cutting his own hair to blend in, right? But the thing is I was like, well, that does not seem realistic. How is Harrison Ford so good at cutting his own hair after one try? You'd think that would make him stand out further. Like, look at that guy with the horrible haircut. Happens again in the Bourne series. Okay, so Jason Bourne is the best spy. He's great at fighting with knives. He's good at everything except for his memory. And then, it turns out even on that, he can cut her hair great. So I was like, just in case I get framed for murder, which I expect, just in case I get framed for murder, I don't like how I said mortar, just in case I get framed for murder, I'm preparing. So I decided to get better at cutting my own hair just in case I have to go on the run. Change my look, get under there, you know. So after 12 years, I gotta say, still not good at it. But I have some tips for you guys. This is the time to do it. If you don't have to go into work, people aren't gonna see you, cut your hair now. It's exciting. First things first is you don't just get a haircut. when you cut your own hair. You don't give yourself a haircut. You cut a little bit of your hair, then you go out into the sun and you see your shadow on the ground and you see how messed up your hair looks in your shadow and you go, ooh, I missed several parts. Or for me, you do that repeatedly until you get your haircut across like a week or two. Sure, it's messy, but I have some tricks for that. Take a newspaper, put it over the sink. You like rip a hole and then that's your hair collector, right? Boom. Then you have a newspaper with your hair collected inside. Then you sprinkle that over, what am I saying? I'm framing myself for murder in this joke? Okay, so this is something I said on stage a lot, and it doesn't get the response I want. So this is good now that I won't hear how badly this part of the joke tanks. Is that the other thing is that all of you guys who get your hair cut by hairdressers and barbers, people will say to you, hey, that's a nice haircut. Right? And then everybody always goes, oh, thanks. What? Why are you accepting that compliment? Every time someone says, nice haircut, if you did not cut your hair, what you should say is, thank you, I will tell the barber. I will tell my hairdresser. I will tell Keith who cuts my hair. Your barber is probably not named Keith, but maybe it is. Anyways, but for me, because I've cut my hair, every single time someone compliments me on my haircut, I get to say, thank you. Because I did it myself. Still waiting for that compliment, but when it happens, I will be ready. Can you see how that doesn't quite work? Fair enough. The Olympics have been delayed, but I don't know if they had to delay all the events. I don't think they had to delay the equestrian. I think every horse-based event, they should have just went forward to it with no riders. One person to, say, on your mark, get set, go. And then all horses. And then we'll really see if those horses want to jump over anything. And of course, my favorite, if the dressage horses want to dance. And if you don't know, dressage is a sport where horses compete against other horses at dance. I've made fun of it for years. I think it's ridiculous. Now's the time, Olympics. Cancel all human sports. Get those horses to see if they want to dance. And then also, what if we see radical new dressage dance moves? It's not just this anymore. Oh, now we're getting some, oh yeah, can you imagine? We might see a new innovative horse dance move. Also, of course, all of us, I'm sure we appreciate, I know I do, all the hard work of everyone on the front lines of this current crisis. All the healthcare workers, of course. I love the outpouring of support that Vancouver is showing in the evenings vocally. And also all the retail workers and the grocery store workers that are still going to their jobs to help people get what they need. My heart goes out to them and just full thanks to those people. Also, full thanks to the people who are out of work and are not losing their minds yet, who are not setting fire to things. Thank you for holding it together. We are all in this together, and if you need support, reach out to the people who you trust and let them know, and don't let it get to a breaking point, because a lot of people are in a tough spot. Think of the muggers. That's tough. Can't mug people. A little too scary to mug. That's no good. My favorite, the pickpockets. Can't go into that pocket, too dangerous, right? You don't know what's been in that pocket. That's tough. You get someone's wallet, you think you're like, oh, this is great. Right? That's tough. Also the cat burglars, that's difficult. Must be hard on the cat burglars these days. You want to go into a house, you're like, ooh, that one looks tasty, but you don't know if it's a quarantine house. You don't know what's been going on in there. You don't know if those people have been self-isolating. You don't know what their social distancing practices are. Oh yeah, sure. They might have a beautiful jewel, and they might have left a window open a little higher than they thought anyone could get into, but you were an expert cat burglar, and you're like, oh, but now you've got this added wrinkle. There might be virus in there. That's tough. It's a tough call. So you got on your slick cat burglar outfit. You've got the nice, wait a minute. I just realized that most cat burglars probably are wearing gloves, and you could have a stylish mask to cover your stylish gentleman or gentle lady mustache. I suppose that means you'd have to get rid of your spandex outfit after every job, which would not be ideal for the environment or for your latex budget. Anyways, my heart goes out to all the right people, muggers and pickpockets and the healthcare workers, but not the cat burglars, okay? Please welcome Ivan Decker. Okay, so I'm sitting here with Juno Award winner Ivan Decker. Ivan, thank you very much for being here.
Listen, it's my pleasure.
Sorry, so we're taking social distancing precautions.
We're taking as many precautions as is necessary. I've perused is the wrong word. I've scanned. Wait, what's the opposite of peruse?
Sorry, pardon?
Like to peruse with effort.
Pardon?
This is so good to connect in this capacity.
Yeah. A little too socially distant.
Yeah. It's still nice to be here.
I feel close to you,
Yeah.
like in heart.
These precautions are important.
They are.
Might be a bit much. I'm yelling a lot. Hello. Hi, everybody online. It's so nice to be back at Jokes Please in whatever capacity this is. We're in front of a community garden, or as Ross would call it, Whole Foods for Raccoons. Hey, there we go. Listen, as you can tell, the world has ground to a halt, except for that guy and those people over there. But most of the world has ground to a complete, it's not that, everybody still seems to be out a lot. But this is it. This is the way that the world has to be. I'm going to have to do comedy like this now. And, you know, it's a changing world. And I think that it's interesting the way that sometimes our lives will change, but vocabulary will not change. Like, I think I'm waiting desperately for a time when millionaires is no longer equated with supreme wealth, because it's not true anymore. If you're a millionaire, that's nothing. That's like a house and a car, and you don't really have to pay attention when you are pumping gas. That's it. You're like, I don't even care. Full tank every time. That's me, millionaire. That's it. If there's no high flying, eating caviar on a jet, that's billionaire or multimillionaire. If you say somebody's a millionaire now, it's literally just like, yeah, I have a house and a family, and I still go to work every day. It's tough. Like, it used to be a millionaire, kids would be asking like, Mommy, why is that man eating full chicken out of an ornate hat? They'd be like, well, he's a millionaire, son. That's why. Now a millionaire is like, Mom, why is that man's house not attached to any other houses? Oh, he's a millionaire. He gets 4 walls touching nothing but air. It's crazy. Also, I understand that women are millionaires as well. But that was always one of the biggest arguments that people make. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a lot of money. Look, we could all use $1 million. And if you would like to have better observations about what it's like to be a millionaire, send me $1 million. Please send $1 million. Call the number at the bottom of your screen now to make me a millionaire so I can write relatable millionaire material. Listen, millionaires, you don't have a comedian that can do jokes that you relate to? Well, guess what? I'm your guy. Give me some money, I'll live your life and make observations. Yeah, of course I talk about the bus. I don't have money for the non-bus. You want material that's not about the bus or about flying coach? Give me some money. I'll write you all kinds of first-class bits and what it's like to not have to clean your juicer. I just buy a new juicer and throw it away. That's what I do. I'm rich. These bits could be yours for the low, low price of several $1 million made out to me, observational comedian Ivan Decker. I will do it. I know this joke set has now turned into more of an infomercial for I'll sell you some rich people jokes for the price of making me rich, but why not? You know, that's always the trouble with comedians when they get rich, is they can't write relatable material for everybody. That is why I'm cornering only the millionaire and billionaire market. Let me do jokes for you with your money. Put your money to work for you, making me rich to sell you comedy. This is also an example of how an audience is very important in comedy, because they would tell me to stop this bit. But because I have nothing to go off of, I have no idea if this riff has gone on for entirely too long. Probably has. I'm going to say now at this point it's gone on about 2 minutes longer than it needed to. Probably could have cut it after the first minute. But that's why we're all here learning about new material. I have another thing that I was going to talk about, and it was about how, like, in the olden times, people always would talk about how you would borrow like a cup of sugar That was like a big thing. Be like, you people don't even borrow a cup of sugar anymore. You don't even know your neighbor. You can't even go borrow a cup of sugar. Why are you borrowing so much goddamn sugar? What was going on in the world before? You were just starting baking before you knew you had sugar? You're like, the oven's on, the dough's in the bowl. I didn't have sugar. How bad are you at planning your life that you're like, oh, whoops, I'm a cup short. I've already got the oven on. I gotta go find somebody to give me some sugar. The closest possible person. You're banging on your neighbor's doors soliciting sugar like some kind of psycho? Flip the script and it sounds just as crazy. I think we never should have been borrowing cups of sugar. That should not be a complaint. Like, your generation, they don't even borrow a cup of sugar. The other one is bicycles, too. They're like, yeah, you don't ride your bikes around anymore. When I was a kid, we rode bikes. Yeah, I was poor. We also rode bikes. You know what delinquent teens don't need? Mobility. We just rode around town, causing trouble, getting thrown out of Safeway for popping all the balloons. Like, this is not something, and then we could just ride off on our bikes, be like, ha ha ha, we can go through paths that cars can't. It's not good. We all had bikes. One day we went and we found a wasp nest and we threw a brick at it and we all got stung on the face, and the guy whose house it was got stung because he came out, he's like, what the hell are you kids doing? And he walked into a cloud of bees, and then we just rode off on our bikes and we all got away. Thank you so much. No, please stop. The silence is very odd and hard to deal with. Anyway, it's been real, everybody. Listen, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm happy to yell into a camera as much as you want, really. So leave your comments below. If you enjoy me doing this, I'll take it on the road. I'll do it on my Instagram story. Who cares? Let me know. And I love you. Too much? Okay. Good night.
Ivan, thank you very much for doing that. That bike riff hurt my feelings, but I love, because I rode a bike. I ride a bike all the time. It's the best. It's going to be in this episode.
Excellent.
Look,
I have no problem with bikes. I just don't think packs of teens need bikes all together.
I love that you guys popped the balloons, but it's not a crime because you left their possession like in the store.
Hey, we didn't steal anything. We just broke your goddamn balloon. What did we really? We let go of some precious free air.
Ivan, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys, so excited to have this next performer. I don't remember what I was supposed to say about this man. He is a very hilarious comedian who has worked internationally. He's done very well in several competitions, including the San Francisco Comedy Competition. Please give it for the very hilarious Chris Griffin, everybody. Please give it for Chris Griffin. What a pleasure! Thanks.
Oh, hello, everyone at home. Thank you for having me. I hope you're all safe out there tonight. This is a little... new joke I'm working on, but we'll start with that. So worst thing so far, 2020, Kobe Bryant has passed away. It's a little old, the joke. It's a month old. Anyway, I mean, it's a tough time right now, and I do hope you're all not losing your minds. Because even my friend, Kenny, he was like, oh man, this virus, he's like, it's going nuts. He's like, I'm gonna get my sniper rifle and just start shooting people from the top floor. I'm like, well, Kenny, you can't, it's just a virus. So you're just gonna be a bunch of dead bodies in front of your house, and then you'll go to jail. The police are still working. You know, you gotta wait another month, man. I don't know, that's a little morbid. My grandmother, could you imagine like the world, without 80-year-olds? What would we do? Like, how would we go on? It'd be crazy, you know? Things would fall apart. There'd be no debates on the Democratic side. But then, no, my grandmother was murdered in cold blood. That's a real story. It's not a joke. This is her necklace. Yeah, I didn't rip it off her corpse. She gave it to me before she died. Anyway, back to Kobe Bryant. So when he died, it was a really interesting moment for humanity that I noticed, amongst many different reactions to it. But the one thing that I really clued in on is for the first time ever, there were feelings in my guy friends group chat. Because I've been best friends, with the same dudes since I was 12. And the closest we've ever got is somebody has a kid. They'll put the picture, they'll be like, oh, and we're like, oh, welcome to the world, that's amazing. And then the second picture they post, we're like, what the fuck, man? Put that shit on Facebook. Get that out of the group chat. Put it where people watch shows where nobody's in the audience. And then, get it on that. And then... But this time, my one friend, it was like, man, we've been friends for 20 years, and Kobe was with his team for 20 years. That's loyalty. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of sweet. And then my other friend was like, when there's 1 second left on the clock and we're down by 2, you're the guys I want on the court with me. And I was like, man. So I just put it out there. I was like, Kobe, you guys, because if you try to write love, it autocorrects to Kobe. And I was like, no, you can't. If you try to write Kobe, it autocorrects to love. But it's like, you can't say that, guys. We gotta, because Kobe, before he was dead, was known when you'd throw the paper ball in the wastebasket, you'd yell Kobe. But now, instead, it's known as love to your friends. Because sports, for some people, that's the only way they can express emotions for certain guys. You know what I mean, Ross? Yeah. It's the only time, yeah. So now when my friends drop me off at the end of the night, I just say, Kobe, because it means I love you. Yeah. But it made me realize some of my friends that care about sports too much, I realize now why they care, and I can read between the lines of what they're saying. So when I watch my friend watch sports, he's like, ref, how do you miss that call? Like my dad missed my 5th grade recital. And I was like, whoa, I see it now. And he's like, he's cheating, just like that bitch cheated on me. Are we allowed to swear, Ross? But in 2017, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, a team I've cheered for since I was a kid. And I got teary-eyed, like misty-eyed, and I was with some comics, and they started making fun of me. They're like, oh, he's gonna cry. But it wasn't the game. It was because right before they won, right before the last play, my friend turned to me and he was like, oh, it was close at the start, but they really pulled away at the end. And I was like, just like me and my brother. That's a joke that ends sad, but sometimes life ends sad, as we're learning over this month. Thank you, guys.
Performer, very excited to have her here. You may see her while you're binge watching Netflix on Ash versus the Evil Dead or on Nancy Drew. Please give her the very hilarious Sophia Johnson, everybody. Please give her Sophia Johnson.
Thank you.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fun.
Hello, everybody. Woo! Yeah. Man, things are dire. Things are pretty dire in the comedy world, the stand-up world, because I'm doing comedy to an empty room. I'm going to do more of an address to the nation. So I want to take some time to, even though stand-up's struggling, talk about some of the other industries, I've written it down here, like folk musicians, beat poets, touring country music artists. Well, we've taken a hit. They've been struggling for years. So that's for them. I'm too far ahead in my notes. Okay, my heart also bleeds. For the multi-million-dollar airline companies now facing huge government bailouts. Okay, political. See you there in the crowd. Also, I want to take a moment to send our thoughts to the baby boomers. Yeah, those are the people right now who are using their last, final hours to post memes on Facebook that we saw on Reddit 6 days ago. Shout out to those guys. I also want to, send some thoughts to the writers out there, all the writers, novelists, depressives, full-time computer gamers. For them, I'm fully aware that this period of isolation is a long-term dream. Come true. Also to the conspiracy theorists, you're right. 5G did cause the coronavirus. And only you know the truth. I'm giving myself laughs to compensate for the laughs that aren't. I'm like, oh, good one. That's how we do with no. Hello, audience. Okay, also to all the parents who said, don't go into showbiz. It's not safe. No security. That is a fact. Okay. Moving on, a lot of people are using this as an opportunity to learn Spanish or learn French or write that novel. I get it, but seriously, guys, French not going to be that handy during the second phase of the apocalypse. I've been at home learning to tie knots, throw axes, useful stuff. Because when people come for us, they're going to come for our food. They're going to come for our wives. Watch out, Chris. Yep. They're also going to come for our toilet paper. I don't know why. I don't know why people learn that, but I know that it's valuable. Okay, that'll be my only hack joke for the night, except for all the others. Okay, Trump has responded to the COVID-19 virus the same way he's responded to global warming, denying its existence. So that makes me feel safe. I want to finish on a positive note. The positive note is that China, who was the first people to get the virus, they have contained it, basically. They've flattened that curve. They've done great out of all the countries. So I think it goes to prove that authoritarian regimes are great in a crisis. Okay. Yeah.
So you have a wide variety of comedy experience. You brought up corporate work, but you had a rough one in Nacum, which is a town very close to where I grew up, 30 minutes or something.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was close to anything.
Yeah,
because I didn't stay there. I stayed in Saskatoon. I had to drive there because they have no hotels.
That's true.
In Nacum. But yeah, I had a corporate gig there. It was the worst gig I've ever done in my life. I had to fly to Saskatoon and then drive through the snow. I got there like 4 hours early and then was met with a full bomb. Full, like, not even heckling, no one. It's not like they were chatting, they got bored of me. They allowed me to talk for 45 minutes to a room of silence.
Yeah.
They just folded their arms and looked at the table and did not acknowledge me for my, it was like they were giving me the silent treatment. It was extreme. I don't know if that's Catholicism or what was happening, but it was only a prairie heart could create that kind of coldness.
Does it surprise you to know that Nacum had a reputation for violence? We used to, like, there's a lot of hockey fights. So you got the adults that raised the people that used to brawl with my small town. Like that, it was. There was a fair amount of animosity when I grew up between our two towns. So you got
good. Well, now I'm on team whatever your town
Anaheim.
is. Anaheim. Because Nacum, I bombed so hard, and then the end of my set, I just said into the microphone, well, I think if we've learned anything from tonight, it's that they don't Nacum like they used to. And that got nothing.
No standing ovation?
Nothing. Silence. And I had to just take the microphone. The second night, nobody came up to be like, another hand for Ivan. There's going to be a silent auction. Nothing. I just put the mic on the table and just walked quietly out through the tables, out the doors. And there was no lobby. The doors were just like a couple of gymnasium doors that just swung open into the cold, cold night.
Swirling snow.
And I took 3 steps and disappeared. The door closed behind me. I got into my rented SUV and drove back to Saskatoon in silence.
Does it make you feel any better to know that in high school I have been to dances in that hall, stared at the person that I wanted to dance with all night, drank too many drinks even though I was underage, never danced with her, saw her dancing with the guy that I loathed, that probably fought our town, and then walked out those same doors, same swirling snow into the night? Does that?
We've shared this experience. This hall is cursed, Ross. That's what I'm convinced. I think, and I've said this on the record, if I ever get enough money to where I can make this possible, I will go to that town and buy the land that town hall is on, even if it's civically owned. I don't care. I'll run for mayor. I'll do whatever I have to. I'll install a puppet mayor to let me do this, and then I will bulldoze that town hall, and I will put up something, maybe a statue of me, maybe a grove of trees, some sort of memorial.
I love this grove of trees idea. There could be a little statue of you. Not a statue, like
like a fountain.
Yeah, a place where people don't do comedy, but
silently. There's like a silent garden. They can all recreate that night where they sit with their hands folded and take a moment of silence.
The moment of silence could be appropriately 45 minutes long, whatever your set length was. That's the moment of silence you should take there. I'll go halfsies with you. Let's do it.
Yeah, we're gonna go there. It's gonna be great. The only thing that audience seemed to care about was ice fishing. They love it up there, apparently, right?
I like that you keep saying up there. It is right in the middle of Saskatchewan, but people think it's quite north, but it's like directly in the middle.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You just brought up maybe you'd become the mayor of the town.
Yeah.
I have some very specific interests. I would like to be the mayor of a town with a lot where I would make some pretty aggressive changes. So a couple of things I would do is I'd put all the cars into a tunnel, and the roads become grassy knolls where trees and ferns and rabbits and animals and there's flowers, and every business that is owned by a corporation goes in the hole, right? And then locally owned shops, grocery stores, all that stuff is up in the grass,
Yeah.
right? And residentials are up there, and then the hole does a couple things. One, the pollution goes down. The pollution stays in the
I
hole.
like this idea.
Yeah, the pollution, but the noise mostly stays in the hole.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're seeing right now in the world is dolphins coming back into Venice, and all these animals coming back into the city as it quiets.
Yeah.
So we have that thing. I think we'd be much
it's
healthier.
so goddamn quiet here in Vancouver.
So we live in this beautiful area. This is not, we're not shooting the most beautiful thing, but the noise I find very difficult. So in this world, you are the man, no honking, no double honking. You're the mayor of a town. This one, something else. What are some of the changes you make? They don't have to be as extreme as the
your
whole.
idea was almost instituted in Los Angeles.
The whole?
Yeah. Like they
tunnel.
had this whole plan of like the cars would be, they were gonna do all these raised walkways.
Really?
Where all the shops would be at the raised level and all the cars would be underground. And then like some politician came in and scrapped it.
It is a crazy idea, but I love it.
I think it's great.
So you and I both had you had a great joke about the SkyTrain. The other thing about this version is I'd put all the trains in the sky.
Trains are in the sky, cars are in the hole.
Yeah, Victor's like already did that.
I think one thing I would do is something I talked about earlier, where the police, when they give you a ticket, they are not allowed to give you a lecture.
Yeah.
And if they do, you get a discount on the ticket.
So you're saying the body cam is important, but the mic is more important.
Yeah,
to
the
hear whether
mic
they're
is very
scolded.
important. If
Yeah.
they try to give me some sort of like, hey, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to pay the fare on the SkyTrain. Yeah, I know that, okay? I didn't do it because I didn't think I'd talk to you today. So
So you know that as a park ranger, yeah?
yeah.
Yeah, and
I do.
park rangers had enforcement abilities, but they didn't want us to give tickets. They wanted us to gain compliance. And like the thing is that you gain compliance not by lecturing, but by like educating and by whatever.
Yes.
But you'd work with some park rangers who, one, wanted to ticket people, two, like wanted to, I don't know, impound their dog.
Yeah.
Like a dog's supposed to be on leash in parks, and they absolutely should be. But I'd ask the tough questions in the training thing, which was very, very brief training. I'd be like, well, what should we do if someone doesn't put their dog on leash?
Yeah.
And then one guy's like, I know what I'd do. And I was like, jeez. He's like, I would take their dog. I was like,
Oh, dude.
where are you going to take their dog? You're
We've
3 days
all-
into a park? You're going to hike out carrying another person's dog as they chase after you and be like, give me back my dog. That's insane.
I mean, the way that power corrupts people.
Yeah, so quickly.
It's immediate.
Yeah.
Every middle management, we've all had a job where there was some guy who was like one level above us. He's 19 years old, and he's acting like he's the commander-in-chief. Like, I got the 2 keys to open the chocolate milk.
Those are important keys. I think it should be required by law that every politician play SimCity 2000 for some minimum amount of time. So, because it's SimCity 2000 taught me that if you don't have adequate hospitals, that dead bodies collect in the apartments, okay? Just play some SimCity 2000.
Yeah, get some hospitals.
Yeah. Do you have any advice that you could give straight to the camera, even just for comedians in general? How about
Sure.
joke writing?
All right, so the important thing when you write a joke is to make sure that it has exactly 15 words. That is the funniest number of words. Count them up. Your joke, you got 16? No good, kid. 13? Hit the bricks, baby. You want to write jokes? Here's another thing my grandfather told me about joke writing. I come from a long line of joke writing fellas. We were selling jokes up and down the Oregon Trail in the early 1600s. I said to my grandpappy, hey, what do you do to write a joke? And he said, son, you gotta make sure that it's funny.
That's Ivan Decker giving great joke writing advice, because all those advice things are...
It's literally all just
Yeah.
like, I mean, you should understand it, but the secret is you just have to swing constantly. Write everything. That thing I just did, I'm not even happy I did it, but
It was funny.
who knows?
Yeah,
Who
it
knows
is
if
funny.
it's funny. You have to just keep doing things. Write 1,000 jokes, and if you get 2 that are good, great. You got a good ratio. You have to just keep creating. Like Van Gogh, as we all know, is now how you pronounce it. When he was in an insane asylum, he painted like 3 paintings a day.
Wow.
Just because he was like, We've never seen most of those. I'm sure they were dog shit. But he made Starry Night, so
Yeah.
masterpiece.
Yeah, I love that TV show.
Yeah. Quantity is good. Quality is also good. But if you can't write well, write a lot, and you'll eventually stumble across something good.
Absolutely. So
Here's the thing that we've talked about briefly that
Yeah.
I'd like to bring up.
Please.
Because you started comedy a little bit after me, but still long enough ago to remember this time. Before podcasts, before YouTube comedy, before anything else, when there
Sure.
was no resources on how to do stand-up comedy.
Absolutely.
Those were the golden days of the open mic psychos. Like, holy shit, did I ever love the amount of crazy. Like, now an open mic is usually full of like college-age people who have done their research. They've watched Joe Rogan. They've listened to a bunch of podcasts. They know what bits are. They know the lingo. You used to have people wandering off the street. One guy, literally, this is a story. My friend Seth, who was a great comic,
I
who
know Seth, yeah.
lived here, and he was hosting a show. It was an amateur night. This is at a club too. This is like not even open mic. This is at Yuck Yucks.
Yeah.
This guy wandered in off the street, and his whole bit was that he was going to give away a rump roast. And he produced this piece of meat from his jacket, and he was just trying to be like, rump, get it? Who likes rump? Who wants the rump? And he's trying to hand it to the people. It brings people up from the audience,
Yeah.
and are like, they're doing some contest to get the rump. And then we're backstage. And Seth is sitting there, he's the host, and he's relatively new
Yeah.
to hosting.
Yeah.
Like, we were both we'd hosted it probably 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
And then there's a professional comedian there who looked at Seth and just said, you don't have to let this keep going. And Seth was like, oh, and he just went out there and was like, all right, shut it down. Take your goddamn rump roast and get out of here.
We were talking about the other day about in an early show that Andy Kallstrom and Jane Stanton and I ran that was in Yaletown.
Yes, oh my God,
Yeah.
the art one.
So-
I love that show.
Yeah, it was interesting because it was a fancy bar with painting in the back, but we had a comedy show before the painting became popular. So we're in there, and sometimes it was full, but it was full with fancy people. So this was not an open mic. This was a booked show. But a woman came in and said, "Hey, can I do a spot?" And we said, "No, this is a booked show. Like no yahoos off the street."
Yes.
And then she goes, "I'm a comedian from LA," and she looked like she belonged. She like in Yaletown was a fancier place.
LA.
And she looked fancy, whereas I was scruffy. And so Andy and I were kind of like, oh, maybe she does belong here. So we said, okay, sure, like do a set. And then, but
I was at this show.
possibly. And then she power drank a bunch of wines.
I remember this. I was there.
The show started. Ben McGinnis, very funny. Ben McGinnis is on stage. He's a quiet comedian, so he sets it up. There's a delay, then there's a punchline. Timing is so important. And during one of those delays, the woman just pukes in between her legs in a venue that holds like what, maximum 50 people? And then Ben just holds it, hits the punchline. Of course, not a lot of laughs. Everyone's like, is that what we think happened? And you're like, yeah, that's yahoos on the street. Of course, she'd never done comedy before. She just lied to get on the show.
No, and then barfed it up.
Yeah, she got so nervous. It was like, oh, man.
Oh, that's the best.
It was like, that was Ivan and I chatting. What a pleasure. If you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, comment down below. This is what people have to do now on the internet.
Yeah, I know.
And we're...
Hit that bell. Hit that bell so you know when I drop a new vid and I can get some fucking views so I can buy my mama a tractor. Welcome back to Farm YouTube, bitch.
there are farm channels I watch on it. Thank you guys.